Good evening, baseball fans. How you doing? Happy Wednesday night. We have made it to Hump Day. We got some baseball to talk about. We got the Brewers hitting a whole bunch of home runs this week. We got Grayson Rodriguez making his major league debut. Gerrit Cole and his new haircut continue to thrive in Yankee land. My Red Sox stink. The Rays are really good. Are they for real? Are the Pirates for real? Manny Machado getting ejected over the pitch clock. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get to it. Baseball fans, how you doing? We got 70 people to start things off in the chat. How are all of you doing? Hope you're all having a good week. It's Wednesday, right? Yeah, it's Wednesday. I always forget what day it is. I literally just said it was Wednesday like 20 seconds ago, and I already forgot what day it is. But I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having a great week so far. Baseball is in full swing. I think we're pretty much past all of the opening day festivities, all of the excitement. We're settling in now to the season. We're about 5-6 games in at this point. Most teams, I think, have played 6 games at this point, or maybe they're playing their 6th game tonight. So this is kind of where things start to, you have the excitement of opening day, right? And then April kind of, you settle in, right? You're settling into that first month, and then it, kind of cruising here for a little bit. And then once we get to, June, July, we start getting the All-Star break. We start getting the trade rumors. So, the next month or so, I'm not saying the next month is going to be boring, but you're kind of looking to see which teams are for real. You're looking to see which teams are going to get off to good starts. Are teams that you thought were going to be good, are they maybe not getting off to such great starts? That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be bad for the year. Take a look at the Phillies last year. Even the Angels too. The Angels got off to a good start last year, and then they just completely fell off the face of the planet. While on the other hand, the Phillies completely turned around their season and made it to the World Series. So, but it is always, I think that's the big part of April, is really looking at kind of what the teams are doing so far, at the beginning of their season, kind of getting an idea of how these teams are going to be, or at least getting the best idea you can. But anyway, I'm just rambling at this point. Tonight, we got a few good things to talk about. Grayson Rodriguez. I have been waiting for this guy's debut for a long time, especially as a Red Sox fan. I'm worried about Grayson Rodriguez. This guy is going to give us fits for a long time, and I'm not very excited about it. The Brewers. Man, the Brewers are really popping off right now, man. They are hitting home runs left and right. The Mets got completely shellacked by the Brewers the last few games. We got a super chat coming in. Jacob Toon, how you doing? Raise up, he says. $1.99. Jacob, thank you so much. Hey, and the Rays right now, getting back to teams, which teams, could be for real. Are the Rays for real? I have a poll in the chat. Make sure you go check that out. Simple question. Are the Rays for real after a 6-0 start? The best start in their history. I will talk about them in just a little bit. But what else we got? What else? Gerrit Cole. Him and his new haircut. Looking pretty good to start things off. Gerrit Cole, he's been all right the last couple of seasons. He's been pretty good. But I feel like the haircut is really giving him a good season so far. We're going to talk the pitch clock. Manny Machado, the first player to get ejected over the pitch clock. And a bunch of other stuff to talk about. We got the Pirates. My Red Sox stink. My goodness. They looked really good after that first loss of the season, taking the next couple against the Orioles, and they get swept by the Pirates. What the heck's going on? The Pirates, they're looking pretty fun so far. They're looking pretty fun. I actually just saw a comment. I don't remember who said it. I don't know if I can find it, but someone said that the Pirates, could they be the Orioles of last year? I said coming into this season, the Pirates could be a fun team. Hey, they're looking pretty fun so far. I'm liking their team so far. I just got to watch them for 3 games, just beat up on my Red Sox. Well, I wouldn't say beat up on them, but they played better baseball for 3 games. So anyway, I digress. Let's kind of start getting into it here. Let's start diving in. But before we do get into it, if you are new, think about subscribing down below. We're trying to get to 30K. We're at 29.3K at the moment. We're within 700 subscribers. So if you are new, think about subscribing down below. Hit the like button, hit the bell button. Share the stream if you can. Share it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Tell your grandma we're live. We got to get everyone in here. Also, everyone, don't forget, sponsoring tonight's show, we have BetOnline. If you are into the sports betting game, definitely check out BetOnline. They got great contests over there. They have everything you need for all of your sports betting needs, whether that's Major League Baseball, basketball, UFC, golf, whatever it may be. Go check out BetOnline. Use the code BLEAV, BLEAV. You get a 50% welcome bonus. And we're also partners here with SeatGeek. Use my code Hyde. You get $20 off on your first purchase. And don't forget, we are partners here with Prize Picks as well. You get a 100% deposit match. Use my code Ginger. Whether that's a $20 deposit, you get 20, and they'll give you $20. Anyway, let's get to it, everyone. Let's get to it. We're going to just jump right into it. Before I do actually dive into it, I just want to let all of you know that this Sunday, this is what I'm going to start doing, right? This season, I really want to start putting out one sort of like a documentary style video per week. I did one video last year on the 2017 Cleveland Indians, and that video did pretty well. So since then, I've always had this desire to start doing more, documentary style videos, whether that's looking back at an old team or maybe even a player. But I'm going to shoot for every Sunday morning. That I'm not promising that, but that's when I would like to upload these. So that way, when you wake up on a Sunday morning, you got something to watch. So, but this weekend, I will be premiering the 2011 Phillies. This one was pretty fun to make, and I'm just finishing up all of the editing this week. So, that's why I really only have time, with the streams that I'm doing and, just work as well, my day job Monday through Friday, and then I do streams, probably 2-3 times a week. I would love to do more of these kind of videos, but right now, just because of time, one is probably the most realistic to do. But I would like to do some kind of a video like this once per week. And once I got my summer vacation, I am a teacher if you don't know, once I got summer vacation, I should be able to do more of these. That would be the goal. Maybe even pop out maybe 2 per week. So, but definitely look out for this. This was a really fun team back in 2011. Remember how this team had so much hype and they came up short. Man, it was pretty fun to look back on the 2011 Phillies. So expect this coming weekend. So everyone, let's get into it here. Grayson Rodriguez making his major league debut today. Wow, some of the pictures he was throwing today, like that was nasty what he just threw right there. That was a pretty nasty slider. Going against the Texas Rangers here, this guy's velocity was looking really good today. His dad was in the stands. I mean, could you imagine having your son? I mean, look at that fastball, just pumping it in there. It's got life on it. There's a different look to his fastball. It has like almost like a rising action to it. This guy's the real deal, man. And it was a bummer that he got hurt last year. I was really looking to see what he could do. And, he kind of didn't have a great spring. The Orioles wanted to hold him back just a little bit. And here we go. He's looking pretty good so far. Went up against the Texas Rangers today. It was a loss, but overall had himself a pretty solid major league debut. When you just look at the stuff that he was throwing today, it looked pretty good. And actually, what a great matchup this was. You had Grayson Rodriguez, one of the future top studs in the game, going up against Jacob deGrom. I mean, Wow, what a matchup there. You got like the now versus the future. That was a pretty cool matchup overall. But Grayson Rodriguez, 5 innings pitched, gave up the 4 hits, gave up 2 runs, struck out 5. I mean, hey, pretty solid debut, especially against this Rangers lineup that has been really looking good so far in the early goings of this season. But DeGrom today was completely just on another level. 6 innings, he struck out 11. This is what the Texas Rangers were looking for here. That first start, he actually really wasn't bad in that first start. He was just kind of giving up some unlucky hits, balls just dropping in. Yeah, sure, he gave up a home run, but Jacob DeGrom, he looked better than what the numbers said in that start, and I'm not surprised about this at all. The only thing I'm worried about with Jacob DeGrom is just health. This guy is just going to be just dealing for the whole year if he's healthy, man. But overall, the Rangers, they continue to look pretty solid so far in the early goings of this season. I know it's very early. We're 6 games in, like I said, but 4-2 so far. This Rangers team, they're getting starts from their guys in the rotation. Guys are hitting, guys are pitching. I'm just saying, man, look out for the Texas Rangers. But taking a look at Grayson Rodriguez, I really want to focus on him. We got the scouting report here on Baseball America. And taking a look here, right now with the scouting report, he's going to be sitting anywhere between 95, 99. He can hit 100. He has hit 100 in the minor leagues. But the big thing that for me personally, when I watched him today, he just has a different kind of a life to his fastball. It just moves differently. There's just something to it here where I could see hitters having a bit of a tougher time trying to pick it up. But he also has a very good slider, which Baseball America grades at a 70. He has a changeup as well at a 60. He has great control at a 65, and even has a curveball that they grade at a 55 as well. I mean, when you're getting grades like that across the board, I mean, you're looking like you're going to be one of the top pitchers in the game. And right now, for the future, they are saying Grayson Rodriguez has top of the rotation potential and a mid-rotation floor based on his stuff, pitch mix, and mentality. The Orioles expect him to compete for a major league rotation job, spring training, yada, yada. He'll be favored to win one given his talents. Well, he didn't end up getting a spot out of spring training, but here he is 1 week into the season and looking pretty good. So overall, Grayson Rodriguez, there's a lot to like with him. And I think in the end, this is a guy absolutely could compete for a Rookie of the Year this year. We saw guys like Hunter Green last year. That was a Rookie of the Year favorite. Ended up not winning it in the end. I don't remember if he got any votes or not. But, I could see Grayson Rodriguez having that kind of a season like Hunter Green had last year, where he was really exciting to watch at times. That guy was just pumping, 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. I remember that one start against the Dodgers. He just looked really good against one start against them. But then there were other starts where he was getting hit pretty hard. I could see Rodriguez having a season like that, ups and downs. And, man, but give him a full season. I think this is really good for him, too. He will probably be on an innings limit this year. So it'll be interesting to see if the Orioles are in contention, late in the season. What are his innings going to be looking like? It'll be interesting. But, man, as an Orioles fan, with how he looked today, with the future of the Orioles, looking very promising. I know this year, we're in this season right now, but you got to be excited here about 2024, 2025, especially when Grayson Rodriguez gets a full season under his belt, man. Hey, as an Orioles fan, you got to be completely stoked for everything right now. So, but in the end, Rangers winning this one 5-2, but the big story was Grayson Rodriguez today. Very excited to see how he will look. So, moving on, let's stay here in the American League East. I'm going to talk a few things on the American League East, and I'm going to, move around the major other parts of Major League Baseball as well. Let's talk about Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay right now, they are looking very good. Now, I will say this. I'm not trying to discredit their start. I'm not saying that at all. They are looking very good through all of these games. I do want to see how they do against some better teams. Going up against the Tigers in that first series, going up against the Nationals. These are not great teams. So I really want to see how good this Rays team will be against some of the better teams in Major League Baseball. But I'm not discrediting their start. They're looking very good through all of these games. They're playing the type of baseball that they should be playing against these teams. They're just looking like a good quality team overall. What I'm saying is I'm not saying that I want to see how they do against these other teams. I'm more saying I'm excited to see how they do against these other teams because they are looking that good. The pitching is looking really solid. You're getting guys like Franco is really having a good start to the season. Injury plagued year last year, but Arozarena is having a really good start to the year. I mean, take a look at some of these numbers here. Yandy Diaz is keeping it going so far. Franco's hitting over 400 to start the year. Arozarena is just doing a little bit of everything right now. Even though Taylor Walls is even off to a pretty decent start, but you know, the Rays are looking really good. And McClanahan, he continues to look really good. 6 strikeouts today, 6 innings. Did walk 4 guys. He's got to clean that up a little bit. But, hey, what else is there to say? The Rays are looking really good. You know, I'm already kind of regretting my prediction of them not making the playoffs. I know it's early. We got a lot of season left. And I will stick by it. But I will be honest, you know, or I would be lying if I was saying that I wasn't a little too worried about my prediction of the Rays. I predicted a good season, right, for the Rays. I predicted a very good season for the Rays, but just because of the competition, I had them finishing on the outside looking in. But that is looking pretty terrible as we speak. But if we take a look at the Rays overall, let's take a look at their next few opponents. So they actually have a very favorable schedule this month. So, like I said, you went up against the Tigers for a few. You went up against the Nationals. Now you got the A's coming up over the weekend. You know, the A's are actually, you know, looking like a pretty stingy team, man. They're looking like a team that's not going to roll over. Like the Nationals, you know, sure, they had a little bit of fight to them in this series. They did score some runs here and there. The Tigers look like a complete pushover in that series. I mean, the Tigers look like an absolute joke in that series, man. I mean, what they got shut out on opening day. They lose 12-2 in game 2. And they scored 3 runs in that series. That is just, that is not good, man. But at least the Nationals put up a few runs there in the second game. But you got the A's, and then we got 4 against my Red Sox at Tropicana Field. I'm contemplating going to one of these games. I don't know. Maybe. Because I'm going to be honest with you, because it dawned on me a few days ago. I'm thinking, wait a minute. They're not going to be playing division opponents as much this year. They're going to be really spreading it out, you know, playing other teams throughout the major leagues. And I thought to myself, wait a minute. You know, I live in the Central Florida area, and I'm thinking to myself, wait, I might not have as many chances to see my Red Sox at Tropicana Field this year. So I'm thinking about maybe one of these games. I don't know, but I will also say I tend to be bad luck for the Red Sox at Tropicana Field. Every time I go, they just always seem to lose. I do not remember the last time my Red Sox won at Tropicana Field. I think, if my memory serves me right, I think the last time I saw a Red Sox, well, I saw the Red Sox win in the playoffs in 2021. I did go to game 2 at Tropicana, so I do have that. But a regular season game, I think the last time the Red Sox won a regular season game at Tropicana while I was in attendance was, I think, when John Lester was with the team. I think it's been that long. So, I don't know. I'm bad luck for my Sox at Tropicana, except for the playoffs. I'm 1-0 in the playoffs. Anyway, but the Rays, you know, they got a favorable start here to the beginning of the season. Could they go 9-0 to start this year? Why not? You got the A's, like I said, this weekend. It's Devil Rays Day on this Friday. They're going to be wearing the throwback. Well, they wear the throwbacks every game, so I don't know if they're also doing any other sort of like handouts or anything like that. So, but it is Devil Rays Day. Anyway, after the A's, like I said, you got my Red Sox for 4. Then you're going to be in Toronto for 3. And then you got the Reds right after on the road. So they got some tough games here. Like I said, the Blue Jays, you know, Reds, you know, division opponents are never easy. But then you got the Reds for 3. And then it gets a little tough. You actually got the White Sox for 7 games this month, and you got the Astros. So I definitely will be paying attention to the Rays later on this month. So will we still see this incredible start? It's the best start for the Tampa Bay Rays in their franchise history. They have never gone 6-0 before. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how they will be doing. But they're looking really good so far. Looking really good. Let's shift over here to the Yankees. And Gerrit Cole continues to look really good so far to start the year, going up against Aaron Nola. Every time I see Phillies Yankees now, it's funny because I just did a video on the 2011 Phillies, and I always think of the Phillies and the Yankees in 2009. It's still, to this day, I will always remember I'm sitting in my room when I'm 19 years old at the time. I'm going to college. I'm still living with my parents at the time. And sitting in my room, I'm watching the Phillies and the Yankees in the World Series, and I'm watching Pedro Martinez pitching for the Phillies at Yankee Stadium. That's still one of the weirdest things I have ever seen. Like, it was just felt odd. Like, it was, I didn't even know what to think in that moment. Like, it was just like, I was like happy to see Pedro, right, pitching for the Phillies against the Yankees in the World Series. But it was also sort of like, man, like, because I remember before he signed to the Phillies, I remember going back to that point. I'm like, man, come on. Bring Pedro back to Boston. Why not? We could put him in our rotation. I think we ended up signing John Smoltz that year, if my memory serves me correctly. I don't remember if that was the year or not, but I remember 2009, I'm thinking, dude, bring Pedro back to Boston. And then he went to Philly. So anyway, but Gerrit Cole, I digress. The Yankees are looking really solid so far. You know, Gleyber Torres is off to just a scorching start, hitting .421. He went 3 for 4 today. LeMahieu, to me, LeMahieu is a guy I think people forget about a lot with the Yankees. LeMahieu is just this kind of glue type player, can play multiple positions. He's going to be a guy at the top of the lineup that can get you going. But everything is looking really good at the top of the lineup for the Yankees right now. You know, Stanton didn't play today, but I mean, he's looking pretty good, hitting bombs. What was that? The home run that he hit over the weekend with like 485 feet or whatever it was. Man, even Donaldson, like, he ended up having to come out of the game, but even Donaldson has looked a little better at the plate. I mean, he's not the batting average doesn't look great so far, but overall, the Yankees top of the lineup is looking pretty good. So, I mean, hey, gotta like that. But with Gerrit Cole, went into the 7th inning today, only gave up 3 hits, 1 earned, 8 strikeouts. Hey, you know, Gerrit Cole, man, this guy should be pitching like this. Like, I feel like last year he was just a little up and down last year. I really wanted to see more out of Gerrit Cole this year, and he just looked dominant today. I mean, he did have an incident or a couple incidents today where he was getting a little agitated with the umpire. You know, hey, but I like that. I like seeing that out of a pitcher. I like seeing pitchers that are just, you know, showing some tenacity on the mound, you know, getting grumpy. You know, I like that, man. I like when pitchers show that kind of emotion, man. But Gerrit Cole, he's looking really good so far. The Yankees are looking really good so far. On the other hand, the Phillies are off to just an ice-cold start, man. They're not looking good. You know, we are used to seeing this. We didn't see a good start with the Phillies last year, and we all know how that turned out. But I don't know. You know, it's very early, so you can't really, you know, there's no reason even saying anything at this point. But they do just look very cold, man. Like, it just feels like this lineup is not fully clicking. It will at some point, but Castellanos, I was hoping to see get off to a better start this year, and he's not really producing so far. He's only hitting 182 at this point. He struck out 3 times today. Trey Turner is looking really solid to start the year. Schwarber, you know, this is, you know, you're going to expect a not so high batting average, but he is hitting for power. Hit a home run today off of Loaisaga. Bryson Stott is actually looking pretty decent, hitting 435 so far. Had a double today off of Gerrit Cole. But overall, the Phillies, man, they got to get it going. I will say Aaron Nola, he did look better today. That opening day game, he just looked horrendous against the Rangers. They just exploded or whatever it was for like 9 runs in the 4th, I think the 4th inning. But no, he did look better today. 6 innings, 3 earned. Just the offense couldn't get it going against Cole. So keep your eyes on the Phillies here. Let's shift over. We got the Pittsburgh Pirates doing damage against my Red Sox. And I'm not really going to get into a rant about my Red Sox here. I want to focus on the other teams. I will just say with my Red Sox, they're not, it's funny how they're not putting it together right now, right? The first few games, the offense was amazing, right? But now this series, or the first few games, the offense was amazing, but the pitching was just horrendous. But the last few games, the pitching has looked a bit better, but now the offense isn't showing up. And I think that's a big credit to just how the Pirates are pitching right now. Mitch Keller looked really solid today. If we go take a look at the box score, Kluber looked all right today. This is a typical Corey Kluber start, 5 innings, give up a run, not really strike out a whole bunch of guys. That is what I expect out of Corey Kluber. 5 innings, 6 innings, 1 to 3 runs given up. That's what I like to see out of Corey Kluber. But Mitch Keller today, he looked awesome. 7 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, 7 strikeouts. Hey, Mitch Keller, this is a younger guy that I think has been overlooked a little bit. The Pirates have just been so bad, and Keller hasn't been able to fully put it together over the last couple of years, but he has gotten better. And this year I was expecting a bit more of a step forward. Now, if we go take a look at the year that he had last year, again, don't really look at the wins and losses so much. 5-12, but the ERA was a 3.91. His FIP looked pretty good. Major League Baseball, man, I really want you to start using FIP. If anyone out there, Major League Baseball works for them, start using FIP, please. I think that really goes a long way. But ERA at a 3.91. Again, minus that 2020 short season where he had 5 starts, that was easily his best year. But he's never really going to be like a huge strikeout guy. But, with Keller, he did look pretty decent last year. So not surprised to see him pitching like this today. And, I will say this. Bednar right now for the Pirates is looking really good. He's had, I think he's at 3 saves now. He didn't come in today because he pitched last night. But he's been looking really dominant, man. I think you're going to, if the Pirates are kind of out of it, in July, you're going to see a lot of people saying, Bednar could be a trade candidate. I'm actually going to lean more towards the Pirates probably just end up hanging on to him because he's under a lot of control. I think he's under control until like 2026 or 2027. To me personally, I think the Pirates end up hanging on to him. But he's been looking really good so far. Already has 3 saves so far for the Pittsburgh Pirates this year. But overall, the Pirates, they're looking really fun, so far. 4-2. Again, it's early, but 4-2 to start the year. And taking a look, O'Neal Cruz is looking a lot better at the plate. He's not chasing so much in the early goings of this year. Brian Reynolds is looking like he absolutely wants a contract. Like, my God. Brian Reynolds is killing it. He was going nuts on my Red Sox last night. This dude was just hitting everything. He is scary at the plate right now, hitting .417 in the early going of the year. Andrew McCutchen looks like he's just having a good time. Hitting .267 in the early goings, but 2 for 4 today. Carlos Santana had a home run today. This was a guy who I thought, don't overlook Carlos Santana this year, taking away the shift. He really got hurt by the shift last year. I'm telling you, I think he ends up being all right. He's going to give them some power, man. I would not be surprised to see Santana end up having a pretty decent year with the Pirates. I'm not saying like an amazing year, but a decent year. So Carlos Santana did damage today. This is a fun lineup. And I'm going to say, also point out, let me see if I get this right. Ji-Hwan Bae, am I saying that right? I think I'm saying that right. But this is a fun young player. Keep your eyes out for him, man. Last night, he was playing second base, and then he moved out to center field as a defensive replacement, right? He's moved out to center field, man. He can play a whole bunch of different positions. He's got tools. He's got a good hit tool. He's great in the field. He's fast. He's a fun player. I was watching him in that game last night. He was doing some things. He had a great catch. He had a catch at the monster. I think he robbed Devers of would have been at least a double. So He's fun. Keep your eyes out for him. Only 23 years old. He's a fun and exciting player. But right now, the Pirates, hey, they're looking pretty good so far. Again, I've said it a million times. It's early. But keep your eyes out for them. Could they be that team this year like the Orioles last year, right? Kind of exceeding expectations. I said this about the Pirates. If we take a look here at this Pirates team, even what I also like about the Pirates right now is that so far through one turn, all of these guys are making their starts and they're all going into at least the 5th inning. That's to me, that is a recipe for success. You have more of a chance to win games when your guys are going into the 5th inning, at least. So the fact that all of these guys have done that so far, I like that. Again, Bednar is the big name in the bullpen, but right now you got a couple of guys that are doing okay in this bullpen in the early goings. Colin Holderman, this was a guy, came from the Mets last year in that trade, and he's looking pretty good so far. Moretta's looking all right. Underwood Jr. is looking pretty good. So right now the Pirates are fun. I'm liking what they're doing, and Brian Reynolds is just off to just such a hot start, man. Now, shifting focus, again, I'm not really going to talk a whole lot about my Red Sox, but I do want to give an opinion, I would say. There was a story, and I'm not going to get too crazy into this. This isn't really like too much of a baseball, like on the field story. But there have been a lot of people talking about Masataka Yoshida's first home run. If you didn't hear about this, Yoshida hit his first home run with the Red Sox a couple of games ago. And, first home run in Major League Baseball. Came over from Japan. And as we all know, he's just starting his Major League career. Hit his first home run. And usually you think, okay, well, when you get your first hit, when you get your first home run, you like to, keep those, like as, because you have a sentimental value towards those things, And however, the fan that caught the ball, well, actually, it was a family, right? And they didn't actually even catch the ball. I believe someone else in the stands got the ball and he gave it to the kid that was in the family. And however, the Red Sox, they tried to get the ball back for Yoshida because it's his first home run ball. But the family said no. And I think it was because the child wanted to keep the ball. Listen, I'm all about, here's the thing, if you know me, I've told you before, if you are unaware, I am a teacher. So maybe I am a little biased in this situation, but I'm all about the kids, right? I'm very much about this game and being for the kids, right? But in this case, I don't agree with it. I don't agree because to me, I'm looking at it from a point of view where Masataka Yoshida, he was very successful in Japan, but he came over from Japan. He took his life and brought it to the United States, right? That's a big move, first off. Whether or not you're playing Major League Baseball or you're doing something else. Moving from a country that you grew up in to another country that's completely foreign to you. That's already just something in itself, right? But Yoshida having a lot of success in Japan and then getting an opportunity to play in the major leagues, to me, that is just something. If I was him and I hit a home run and I was in that situation, I would absolutely want to keep that ball. Like, I would really want that ball. Just because it's something, that's a big accomplishment. Not just hitting your first home run, but just coming over from a different country. That adds more to it. I think it's just like, sure. Is it just a ball at the end of the day? Yes, it is just a ball. But it's more than just a ball. All right. It's kind of just like everything he has worked for in his entire life. And absolutely, if he should want to keep the ball. I absolutely don't see why he wouldn't want to keep it, right? But unfortunately, the family didn't want to give it back, and they wanted to keep the ball. And even the Red Sox, they made multiple attempts to get the ball back. They made a bunch of offers, and they kept saying no. And I do personally think that was just the wrong move. I don't think that was the right call. You know, I'm not sure whether or not the parents said that, you know, if they kind of let the child decide. To me, I think that's a teachable moment for a child where, you know, this is something where Yoshida, you know, having this ball, like, you know, has kids, you know, down the road. And, you know, that's something that it's just, it has a lot of meaning to it, right? You know, where he came from and like where, you know, all the trials and tribulations he went through to get to this point. You know, having that ball, you can show his children, his grandchildren one day. Yep, here's this home run that I hit, right? It's more than just a ball. It's more than just a home run. It's about the bigger part of it is that the guy had such a great career in Japan, worked hard, and brought his talents to a completely different country. And to me, I think it's more about the story. It's more than just the home run, right? It's more about everything he was able to accomplish. And, you know, that's something where it's just a very, even though it is just a ball, you can use that, you know, to really kind of just show like, hey, you know, hey, I took my life and got up and went to a different country. If I can do it, you can do it. And here's a symbol of it, right? Here's this baseball right here, you know? I don't know. To me, I think it's just a sentimental thing. I would want to keep the ball, personally. I think that family really made the wrong move in that situation. I think it was very, I don't know. And this is just my opinion. You know, I'm not saying, you know, my opinion's the end all be all, but I personally just think that should have gone back to him. And I think it's more, I saw a comment or something on Twitter saying, oh, this guy makes millions of dollars and this is, you know, the Red Sox, you know, bringing billions of dollars and blah, blah, blah. It's not even about that. It's not about the money. It's not about how much money these guys make. It's like, so what? Yeah, these guys make a lot of money, but what, they can't have sentimental value towards things? I don't know. I think it's more than just the money. You know, I don't know. I saw a comment like that. I'm like, I don't, that's a bad take. I don't get that take. I don't know, but to me, but here's another thing too. We can look at it from this point of view. Okay, you got Masataka Yoshida's first ever home run ball. Who knows? That could end up being a lot of money down the road. You don't know. Who knows? Could he end up having a better career than Ichiro at some point? Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what kind of a player he will be? So I can also understand that maybe you want to keep the ball because it's got value, right? Or it could end up having a ton of value down the road. But man, you got to think here. The Red Sox, like, you could have really made that kid's day by, let's say the Red Sox, you know, sure, I understand if the kid got the ball, yeah, let's make a trade for it. Let's come up with something here. Man, you could have had that kid, like, that kid could have asked to, you know, meet the team, take pictures with the players, you know, go to, I don't know, get season tickets or something. You know, you could have gotten a really cool opportunity out of that. Like, you could have even gotten a ball signed by the entire team. I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. Like, I don't know. Again, I get it. This ball could end up being a ton of money. All right, I get that. But man, I just think there was a lot of that there's more meaning to that ball. And, you know, that's just my take. That's my take on that. I think he should have gotten it back. That's just me. But what do I know? I'm just a potato that sits on my desk. But anyway, let's move on. Before I do talk about some other stories going on in Major League Baseball, I do just want to go over, like I said, we are sponsored here by BetOnline, but we do have a new partner here on the channel, and super excited about this. And it is Sorare, the fantasy baseball game, and I just want to talk about that real quick. Taking a look at how my team is doing so far. So in case you don't know what Sorare is, it originally started with soccer or football, right, if you're over in Europe. But they have now partnered with Major League Baseball, and it's a digital card fantasy baseball game. And it's a really different take on fantasy baseball in itself. And I think it's a lot of fun. And I'm not just saying that, I also want to say this. If anytime I'm partners or if I have a sponsor on this channel, I don't just do it for, just to have a sponsor. Like, I have to actually like what they are presenting. And to me, I really like what they are presenting here. I think it's a fun, unique, different take. And that's why, the one sponsor that we have is Prize Picks. You have FanDuel, you have DraftKings, but I like that Prize Picks was just like a different company and they did things differently. I like that. But with Sorare, it is fantasy baseball, and you draft a team with cards, right? Digital cards that you keep forever. Those are your cards forever. But you can also, the team that you make, you can enter your team into tournaments and you can win more cards. So right now, my team is not doing all that hot so far this week. Out of 14,081 contestants in this tournament, I am so far in 9,296th place. I am not doing so good. But right now, McClanahan, he did pitch good today. He got me 26 points. Graveman has also, every tournament that you join, it's over, I believe it's over 3 to 4 games. Can't remember the number exactly, but it's not the whole week. It's broken up into two half weeks, basically. So I think it's Monday through Thursday, and then I think it's Friday through Sunday. So, but right now, the guys that I got going for the first half of the week, McClanahan did do well. Graveman has one more game left, so hopefully he can get me some points. Yoshida has done really well so far for me this week. He's got one more game for this week. But right now, Judge, Turner, and Lowe, they are done for the week, so their points are done. So, I don't know. I think Dustin May might be pitching tomorrow. I can't remember, but let's see how I end up doing. But absolutely, go check it out. Use the link in the description. You can get started. It's completely free to get started. There is no price at all. You can draft your team, and you can try and see how they do. Try and win some games. Try and win some tournaments, and you can win some cards, and you can win other rewards as well. So, everyone, let's get back to it here. Let's shift over to the National League. And the Brewers right now are kind of going crazy with home runs. And they had a walk-off home run today from Gerrit Mitchell. And, man, they're hot. This Brewers team is hot, man. They had 5 home runs yesterday. They were going crazy off of Max Scherzer yesterday. And, man, they really brought it to the Mets in this one. Lindor and Alonso looked really good for the Mets. But in the end, this Brewers team, they're just hitting home runs left and right. So let's go check out the Brewers right now. Gerrit Mitchell, this is a guy who I thought could absolutely have a breakout year this year. This guy is a stud, man. Hitting a walk-off home run today to give the Brewers the win. The Brewers are off to a really good start. We're talking about like the Rays and the Pirates right now. How about the Milwaukee Brewers? Right, 5-1 so far. They're looking great. But they're getting a lot of key contributors. Even someone like a Brian Anderson is doing really well so far for the Brewers in the first few games. Winker is looking like how he should have looked with the Seattle Mariners. He's looking really good. He's driving in runs. He's hitting home runs this year. He's hitting extra base hits. But Weimer just got called up. He's looking pretty good so far. Had the home run off of David Peterson today as well. That came in the early goings in the second inning. But, man, this Brewers offense, they're definitely it feels like they're living and dying by the home run a little bit, but they're getting pop. I like that. So, as for the Mets, though, not looking, I wouldn't worry if you're a Mets fan. I would not worry at all. I feel like they need another bat in this lineup. It feels like right now, Lindor and Alonso, they were a little slow to start this year, but they looked good here. They combined for all 6 runs for the Mets today. And, 4 RBIs for Alonso. Good game for him. Lindor is still kind of waking up a little bit as well. But the offense isn't really there yet for the Mets. I think they're going to be fine. They're going to get themselves going. Nimmo today, 0 for 5 out of the leadoff spot. You can't be having that. When your leadoff guy is just hitless, it's not a good recipe for success. So Nimmo is definitely going to have to get it going. But Narvaez, I believe, also got hurt in this one. I can't remember exactly what happened with him, but it's looking like top prospect Francisco Alvarez, it looks like he's going to get called up soon. So be on the lookout for that. But David Peterson, too. The pitching is just not there for the Mets right now. Scherzer didn't look great, yesterday. I think Verlander, when he gets back, I think that's going to really help this Mets rotation settle in a little bit. But right now, the bullpen, besides Ottavino blowing it late in the game, Curtis looked pretty good today. Robertson. This is why I don't like closer by committees. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. It never works. Unless you're like the Rays, right? But these guys, it's such a different thing. The Rays do things differently. Their philosophy is just different. They can have different guys, going in to the 9th inning, into the 8th inning. It's just the way that it's like they develop these guys that way, right? But when you got a veteran guy like David Robertson, you got Ottavino, who's a veteran guy. Stop it. Have one guy for the 9th inning. Have Robertson be your closer. Sorry, I'm not having Ottavino be my closer. I remember talking in the beginning of the year saying, maybe Ottavino. But the more I thought about it, Ottavino has always been more of a setup guy. So Robertson, to me, is a guy, there's a different feeling to it. There's an adrenaline factor. Some guys can handle it. Some guys just don't. Ottavino is not that guy. He's a 7th, 8th inning guy. You have to solidify the roles. You have to get these roles nailed down. Put Robertson in the 9th. Stop being cute with this. Stop going oh yeah, we're going to go off the scouting reports. No. Put Robertson in the 9th inning. It's not hard. Just give him that job. I don't know. I've never liked closer by committees. 2003 Red Sox, that was just miserable to go through. Just stop it. It doesn't work most of the time. Sure, there's some cases where it can, but for the most part, no. I would put Robertson in the 9th inning. I would keep Ottavino in the 8th inning. I think that's the better recipe for success. Until you get a guy that is going, if you can trade for a guy that is going to be your for sure closer, then I think right now you need to just go with one guy and just keep it that way until you can get someone else, right? Hey, I'm just going to say this right now. Chapman is throwing heat with the Kansas City Royals. If he gets himself right, don't be surprised if Aroldis Chapman becomes a New York Met by the trade deadline. I wouldn't be surprised about that. Already got that New York experience. I'm just saying. But I think they need to put Robertson in the 9th inning. They need to stop being cute with this. They need roles. I've talked about this last year. I've talked about this with Garrett Whitlock, with the Red Sox bullpen last year. You need guys in roles. Guys like to know what their routine is going to be. When they have their routine down, when they know what inning they're probably going to pitch in, that's it. Right? It's going to be better for the pitcher, and it's going to be better for the team. But shifting over here, let's talk about the Padres. So this was yesterday. So Gallen was on the mound for the Diamondbacks, right? And Manny Machado, right? He was in the box. He was adjusting his gloves, right? Or he wanted to adjust his gloves. So if you take a look, right? The pitch clock, it was starting to go down. I don't think they have the pitch clock here, but it was getting to that 8-second point. So at 8 seconds, the batter has to be ready. So time was ticking, and Machado, right at the 8-second mark, I watched this, and right at the 8-second mark, he put his hand up for a timeout. But the umpire already called. It was they both did it at the same time, right? If you take a look here, Machado, he puts his hand up, and then the ump called for the pitch clock violation, right? And then it ended up being a strikeout. right? So Machado, he was saying he was fixing his gloves. Now, I wonder if this was... I think Machado, I think he knew what he was doing. I think he saw the clock, right? I don't know. I could be wrong about that. But if he had a view of the clock, I could see Machado maybe doing this purposely, right? Where kind of sort of just, using it to his advantage, wait for that 8-second mark and then call the time. I think he was trying to kind of get around it a little bit. And in the end, in a way, I like that the ump, in a way, sure, it might not be very popular among a lot of fans, but I like that at least the umps are being consistent with it. And I like that they're being firm with it, right? So I'm glad they're not sort of like dancing around it, because that can lead to problems too. Like if they're being a little bit more tolerable with it, I think that could end up leading to more problems because of inconsistencies. But I like for the most part that it has been consistent. And so the ump, he was not taking anything from Machado. Machado, he was kind of not really feeling it, man. He struck out, so Melvin, he was getting upset. But I think in Machado, again, I could be wrong. I don't know if he had a view of the clock. I think they do. I think there is a clock that they probably see. I think, right? I would want that. If I'm the batter, I would want to see a clock somewhere. I think if he did have a view of the clock, he knew what he was doing, and because it's like, come on, you put your hand up right at the 8-second mark. I think that was there was purpose behind that. So, but in the end, Machado, he argued it. And we all know how Machado's been in his career. He's had moments like this where he's not exactly the easiest guy to deal with. And in the end, he got tossed. So, interesting. Oh, they do have the pitch clock right here. So if you look you can see right when, if you can see his hands, as soon as it went to 8, he stuck his hand out, right? So, and the umps, they're not letting him get away with it. So, anyway, we're going to have to keep our eyes on that. But let's go to the rest of Major League Baseball right now. And let's kind of check on some other games. Let's check on some other games here. We got Vlad going up against the Royals today. And it looks like, so Miami, that's a fun series with the Twins and the Marlins. Got Pablo Lopez, Luis Ariz, seeing their former teams. Did Lopez pitch today? He did pitch today. So back in Miami, Pablo Lopez did look really good. But in the end, the Twins bullpen could not come through. And it looks like Luzardo had himself a really good game today. 7 innings, 10 strikeouts. Man, oh man. Look at Jorge Soler, man. 2 bombs, 4 RBIs. They need Jorge Soler. They need this guy. He was just basically non-existent last year. But they need that bat in this lineup. They need him to start bringing it a little bit. But man, good for Luzardo. Huge start for him. Floro ended up being solid out of the bullpen. Puck, he came in. Did Puck get the save? No, I think it was because the Marlins scored 4 in the 8th. So yeah, it was because they were up by 4 when he was in the game. So it wasn't a save opportunity. But if we go to that 8th inning, let's take a look. So Birdie got it started. De La Cruz had the base hit, so that gave the Marlins the lead. De La Cruz, I've talked about him. Look out for him. And then Jorge Soler had the bomb with 2 guys on. So that's a big one, man. Let's actually take a look at this. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. I love watching me a Jorge Soler home run. 114 miles an hour off the bat. Ooh. Oh, wow. That was a bomb. My goodness. Jorge Soler home runs are good for the game of baseball. So, but overall, hey, the Marlins aren't looking too bad so far. A little up and down to start things off, but looking all right. They have been getting some pretty decent pitching. Jazz Chisholm's been looking pretty fun. He ended up coming out of this game. Did he get hurt today? He only had 1 AB, and then De La Cruz came in for him. Did he get hurt? So let's take a look on that. So he's feeling okay after early exit. Hurts his right shoulder while caught stealing. Also, I really like the way the Marlins stadium looks with the sunlight. Did they do something different? It just looks different. I know it's a daytime game, but oof. Yeah, Chisholm ended up doing something here. Oh, that's not good. So he dodged a serious injury because he was on the ground in pain. Diagnosed with a stinger in his right shoulder. So yeah, you never want to play around with those, man. But he had numbness and tingling. Couldn't lift my arms to get up by myself. So that's when I really started freaking out because I rolled over the first time to push myself up and I couldn't push myself up. So it just scared me a little bit. Yeah, you got to be careful with those, man. Got to be careful. But yeah, Joey Wendell is on the IL as well. Johnny Cueto, he's on the IL with biceps tightness. So, but yeah, John Birdie, he's going to be taking over for Wendell. Braxton Garrett, he's going to be joining the rotation. But yeah, Jazz Chisholm, man, that is one thing that has held him back, is just staying on the field. Some of these guys, I don't know what it is. Like it's kind of like Byron Buxton, right? Electric players, but they are just so injury prone. So, got to keep an eye out for Jazz Chisholm, see how he ends up doing. Taking a look at some other games throughout the league. The Braves, they continue to look good. Braves, I'm starting to think now. I'm starting to think the Braves. I picked the Dodgers to still have the best record in the National League. Actually, I think I had the Dodgers having the best record in the major leagues. But I'm really starting to think this Braves team, they could end up having just a ridiculous season. Matt Olson is going crazy right now. He is just hitting tater tots all over the place. Good grief. Could Matt Olson end up being an MVP candidate? Went 3 for 4 today. Had 3 RBIs. Had 2 doubles. Had the home run off of Michaelis in the third. I'm just saying, man, this Braves team, they're looking really good so far. And they took it to the Cardinals today. And we all know this Cardinals team is good. Jordan Walker had a home run today. Gotta love that. Jordan Walker, first home run of the major leagues in the 7th inning. So, but in the end, the Cardinals, Michaelis, he's not looking great to start this year. Hopefully after a couple more starts, he'll be fine. But 6 innings today, gave up 9 hits. It still looks like he's working through things. So I would say give him another couple starts. I feel like he's going to end up being fine. Bullpen was fine today for the Cardinals. But for the Braves, Elder ended up getting the win. 6 innings, only 2 hits allowed, 6 Ks. Braves bullpen did enough. They gave up a couple of runs late, one in the 7th, one in the 9th. But in the end, they got it done. But, man, hey, Matt Olson, he's looking good. He is just hitting the crap out of balls. It's crazy. The Braves, having Freddie Freeman, and they shift over to Matt Olson. That's nice, man. That's not too bad. Not too bad if you ask me. But, yeah, this is a fun series. Braves and the Cardinals. Gotta like that. Astros taking it to the Tigers today. Torkelson hit a home run in this series so far. Got for Spencer Torkelson. I'm thinking a big season for him. But the Astros just wallop the Tigers today, 8-2. If we go take a look at the box, I mean, the Astros offense, sure, no Jose Altuve. That is fine because these guys are just hitting like crazy. Taking a look. Where were we? Kyle Tucker continues to look really good. 2 for 4 today, 2 RBIs. Pena, 2 hits out of the leadoff spot today. Bregman hitless today. But Alvarez continues to look really good. So, McCormick homering today. Tucker, like I just mentioned him, had a home run as well. I mean, honestly, what else is there to say? The Tigers are just not really a great-looking team. And the Astros are a good-looking team. So, pitching for the Astros today was Javier. 6 innings, 5 hits allowed, 5 Ks. Only gave up a run. This Astros bullpen, love me some Brian Abreu, love me some Montero, love me some Presley. Astros are looking, the record doesn't look good, but 3-4. They had a tough series there against the White Sox to start things off. But, hey, we all know the Astros are going to be fine. Speaking of the White Sox, scoring 7 on the San Francisco Giants today. Look at the Giants. They hit a lot of home runs. What was it? Last game, couple games ago, can't remember. But Dylan Cease looking pretty good today, racking up the Ks. 5 innings, 8 strikeouts. Luis Robert, 3 for 4, had a double today. Good to see when he's doing well. Gavin Sheets had 3 RBIs. Looking at the White Sox box score, Benintendi 2 for 4 today. Always love seeing Benny Ball game doing good. Yoel Moncada, hey man, bounce back candidate, absolutely looking really good. Hitting 440 to start things off. 2 for 4 today. Andrew Vaughn had a double today. I think this White Sox team's going to be good. I'm just saying, end of the year, if they're right there looking like they might win the division, don't say I didn't tell you so. But anyway, but the Giants, actually Logan Webb is not looking good. Logan Webb is one of my favorite pitchers in the game, and he is not looking very crispy to start things off. Got hit by the Yankees pretty hard. Got hit by the White Sox hard today. He's not liking these American League teams, man. He needs to get back to pitching against these National League teams. But he went 5 innings, 4 runs. Hey, I don't know. I'm not really big on the Giants this year. But they are hitting some home runs. They are, they got some fun things going on. Peterson left 8 on base today. 8 on base. That's a lot. Man, what else is going on? The Angels taking it today against the Mariners. Angels are 4-2 to start things off. Did Ohtani pitch today? Yeah, Ohtani pitched today. He went 6 innings, 8 strikeouts, 3 hits, 1 earned. At the plate, had a hit, a couple of walks. Flexen taking the loss for the Mariners today. Mariners are not looking very, they had one game there. They had an exciting game where that led to a win. But I don't know, the Mariners are not really very inspiring right now. 2-5 to start things off. They actually had a lot of guys out of the bullpen today. Castillo ended up giving up a couple of runs. But, I don't know. Ty France is off to a pretty good start. Suarez is looking all right. Had a couple RBIs today. Went 2 for 4. But some of these guys, they're going to have to start really stepping it up a little bit more. Kelnick, we're not really seeing a ton out of him. Had a hit today. But overall, the Angels, though, they're looking pretty good. Looking pretty good so far. Ohtani is looking amazing as always. But, hey, I'm liking what the Angels are doing so far. Taking a look elsewhere. Oh, I talked about the Blue Jays earlier. I never got to it. But it looks like the Blue Jays finally got a good pitching performance. Alek Manoah, 7 innings. Only give up 1 hit, 5 Ks today. Good to see the Blue Jays actually get a good performance on the mound. Gotta love that. Vlad Jr., 3 for 4. Home run today. Gotta like seeing Vlad Jr. in the news. Actually, Greinke wasn't all that bad. Gave up 7 hits, but he only gave up 1 run. But in the end, this Blue Jays team, you're not hearing a lot about the Blue Jays right now, but they had a couple of rough starts there, man. But Manoah, I think that might be their best start so far this year. So, but what else we got here? I think I feel like I've talked about all of these games now. Oh, the Reds and the Cubs got postponed. Oakland, man, they had a walk-off against the Guardians the other night. Hey, I was starting to think, oh man, can Oakland maybe start making some noise here? Could they be like this shocker team? Could we have another, 2002 Moneyball team? But hey, who knows? Still early. But hey, 2-4, got a couple of wins. I mean, I think a lot of us were thinking, could the A's even win a game this year? But the Guardians, they're looking pretty good so far. Winning this one in extras today, scored 2 in the top of the 10th. And but the Guardians had Gaddis. I've not seen him before. Let's see. Hunter Gaddis in the minors. So he had a few starts last year. He got rocked. But looking at his minor league numbers. So last year he was in AA and AAA. I mean, he was all right. AA at a 4.24 ERA over 15 games. And then over 9 games in AAA, he had a 3.60 ERA. But making his major league debut, or not his debut, but was this his first start this year? Or did he start a game last year? Okay, yeah, never mind. He started last year. Okay, never mind. But this year, first start, hey, looked all right. Looked all right. But let's take a look at the box. For the Guardians right now, Jose Ramirez, he's off to a good start. Ooh, Heron. Heron did not look good today. Looked like the A's were actually in position. Oh, no, they weren't. So they had tied the game. So, never mind. But, hey, they came back right there in the 8th, making noise. So, Oakland, man, that'd be fun if they can really get this going. Could you imagine Oakland just having, like, this crazy season? Like, with these, you know, a lot of, like, no-name players. I mean, they have names on this team. It's not like they have, like, just nothing. You know, you got a couple of young players that are pretty fun. You got Langliers. I mean, that's a fun prospect. You know, Kemp, he's a pretty fun player. I mean, Aguilar today had 3 RBIs, had the 3-run homer. Still got Laureano out there. You know, got that defense out in center field. Kyle Muller is looking okay. He went to the 6th inning today. Struck out 5, gave up 2, 4 hits. You know, Kyle Muller, this is a guy, you know, sure, the Braves, you know, in that Sean Murphy trade, it looked like the A's really lost, but I like that they got Kyle Muller in that trade. You know, that was a pretty decent pitching prospect to get. So, but in the end, Guardians getting the win, 5-2 so far through 7 games. But everyone, I think I'm all caught up with the news. I don't think I talked about this. Anthony Rendon ended up getting a 5-game suspension, or was it 4? It was 4 or 5. I can't remember the number exactly. But I don't know. I think that was a little small, personally. I talked about this in the last stream. I think you shouldn't be putting your hands on people at all in any situation. You know, he grabbed a fan. I think that was I don't know. I think that was a little, you know, coming up a little short there. All right. You had guys that get in fights with each other on the field who are getting like 10-game suspensions, right? But, you know, sure, I'm not, you know, saying, you know, these guys should be fighting. But to me, I would think grabbing a fan in the stands, you know, sure, the fan is probably, you know, yeah, he shouldn't be doing what he's doing either, you know, cussing at the players. But, you know, calling them names and whatnot, you know, around kids especially. I'm not defending him either, but I don't think a player should be grabbing a fan in the stands. I think that should have been way more than 5 games, you know, personally. So, but anyway, those are just my thoughts. But let's see what you guys are saying here in the chat. Let's see what you guys are saying. A3RD. The A's will win maybe 50 games this year. They stink. Yeah, you know, we're probably not going to see a whole lot out of the A's, but, you know, they've had a couple of fun moments so far to start this year. Nicholas, how you doing, my friend? One of our moderators. Love to see Trout make the playoffs. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, they got to get in the playoffs. I think the Angels can do it this year. I really do. They don't have a lot of depth in the minors, so that could end up coming back to bite them a little bit. It's a full season. You need those guys in the minors to, you know, for, you know, reinforcements. So let's see if this major league team can get there over the whole year. But the Angels obviously have the talent. So will they have the depth? RH24 just joined. Can you talk about the Twins? Yeah. Pablo Lopez looked really good today. He looked really good. I think it's exactly what the Twins need. You know, I think the Twins, they're a good team. You know, they've looked pretty good, you know, so far to start this year. You know, Miami getting the win today. Jorge Soler just going crazy with that home run today to give the Marlins the win. But in the end, Pablo Lopez, I think as a Twins fan, you got to be really excited about that. So, but, you know, just a tough loss to the Marlins today. Giancarlo Rodriguez, how you doing? Gerrit Cole for Cy Young. Judge wins a Gold Glove and Silver Slugger. I think Cole could absolutely win a Cy Young. I mean, first off, he's good. He has the name, too. I mean, it's Gerrit Cole. He just has to put together a complete season, I think. You know, he's good enough to win it, obviously. I just think last year he had few too many ups and downs. I think he could win it this year. I mean, the way he's looking so far, absolutely. Anthony G, how about the Rangers? You know, Rangers are fun so far. I think if they can just stay healthy, they got enough bats in the lineup. The starting pitching is great. Here's the thing. The starting pitching is one good thing about this starting pitching is that if they are healthy, they can take a lot of pressure off of this bullpen. The bullpen looks a little thin, but they have a couple of guys there. It's not the best looking bullpen, right? But if the starting pitching can make their starts every 5th day, go into the 5th, 6th inning, I think that bullpen could have enough. So I'm just saying. Sean, Drake Jameson looks like a stud. I love me some Drake Jameson, man. Love it. RH24, Maeda shoved yesterday. Oh, yeah, Sandy Alcantara. I didn't talk about that. Yeah, he looked great. Alcantara just looking great, man. Maeda, that's a name that I feel like not a lot of people have brought up. Remember that 2020 season? Maeda was looking really good in that, it's a short year, but he looked great. So I think a lot of people, I think that's a comeback that's a little slept on. So Maeda, I think, is going to be really big for the Twins this year. So you can't outpitch Sandy unless your name is DeGrom. Yeah, it's going to be hard to outpitch Sandy Alcantara, man, going for all those complete games. Figaro, Arsenal, Rangers in a best of 5, hard to beat. I agree. Don't let the Rangers get in the playoffs. That could be a scary team in the playoffs. I would not want to go up against the Texas Rangers. With that starting pitching, absolutely not. Nope. Francisco, Kyle Tucker is looking outstanding so far. Could be a dark horse for MVP. I completely agree with you. Great power hitting, good base stealing ability, great defense. Kyle Tucker is one of those guys. I think because you also, for me, yeah, I see what he can do and I see the numbers that he puts up. Yeah, I absolutely think he's an MVP candidate, but you also have to think too of the voters themselves. The voters, yeah, they'll look for numbers, but voters, they tend to be a little biased towards certain things, right? Name value comes into play. I personally do think that. I think Kyle Tucker he can't be near the top, right? He has to just blow everyone away, I think, to win an MVP. I think that has to happen. So, Hirsch for real, how you doing, my friend? Welcome in. GC says I'm loving Dansby Swanson. I mean, yeah, man. I love me some Dansby. I think he's really solid. Ratchet Dewan, Rangers meet the Jays in the playoffs. That'd be fun. But what are you saying here? Ben and Danielle reviews. I thought the Twins should have left Jax get out of his jam instead of pulling him right away. I'm one of those guys too. I like when managers leave guys in the game to try and just sort it out, right? It depends on the situation, right? But, sure, there are times where maybe you got to pull a guy, but I like it when guys can figure it out, What do we got here? Parker, not going to lie, the Pirates rotation hasn't looked too bad besides Rich Hill and Vince V. Yeah, but even those guys, whatever. They've been still getting some innings in the first couple of goes. So, Giancarlo, how you doing? Do you think MLB will ever let the players choose who gets into the Hall of Fame? I don't know. I think the players should. I think the writers should have no business picking anyone in the Hall of Fame. I don't think the writers, I think they're extremely biased. I think I don't care about the media's opinions for the most part. I think it's all garbage for the most part. No, I think writers should not vote for the Hall of Fame. I don't think they have any idea what they're talking about most of the time. Yeah, I'm sorry. Even Jeff Pass and Ken Rosenthal, I don't think those guys should have any business voting for the Hall of Fame. I know those are names that people like, but nah, they don't know what it's like to be a major league player. Sorry. I don't even know. Did Rosenthal did he even play any high school baseball? Passing? Did they? I don't know. To me, I think you should be a major league guy I think the only way you should be allowed to vote for the Hall of Fame is if you played in the major leagues, because those guys understand what it takes. So that's just my opinion. I don't think writers have any business deciding who gets into the Hall of Fame, because they don't know what the heck they're talking about. So just saying. GC, the pitch clock needs to be shorter and gone in the 9th. If offense remains stagnant, they need to slightly alter the balls. Hey, that's a good point. I wonder if the 9th inning, that could be something they make an altercation to, especially in crunch time. I wonder how that's going to be in the playoffs. I wonder if that could be a thing. Could you imagine you're in Game 7 of the World Series full count, and you get a pitch clock violation, and that ends the World Series. Could you imagine that? Oh, man. Man, oh, man. Kevin, how you doing, my friend? How you doing? I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? Nicholas says the fact that Andrew isn't in the Hall is ridiculous. Yeah, I like Andrew Jones. So, yeah, GC says it's like the last minute of basketball is so intense, it makes it better. Yeah, I feel like, when you're in crunch time situations, I think they need to make some adjustments to it. I like it. I like the pitch clock. I like the rule changes. I think they need to make some slight realistic adjustments, But I could also understand that they don't want to be as tolerable, right? Because if you give an inch, right, you always end up giving more, right? I think they want to have like a firm line. But I think it's been good for the game of baseball so far. Games are moving much quicker. They're much more digestible. And, you still got people complaining out there saying like, oh, you're taking away from the game of baseball. No, you're not. You're taking away these guys that are just taking their time and adjusting their gloves and, kicking their cleats in the dirt, adjusting their helmet. You're not really you're not taking away anything. You're not taking away from the game of baseball. You're taking all the dead time, right? That's what, sorry, but if you want the casual audience if you want more of an audience to watch your games, you gotta speed it up. Like, it's just the way it is today, man. People they want to go. So, Pierce Gilbert, when the Ghost Runner went away last year during the postseason, we had 2 games go 18 innings. If they removed the clock, we might have 4-hour wild card games. Yeah. Sorry, man, but a lot of these people, they don't want to be watching, 4 or 5 hour games. I'm just saying, man. So, I don't know. But everyone, I think I'm going to get out of here. I got to start getting settled down here. I got to work in the morning. I do think I'm going to be maybe doing one more stream during the week. I always do Wednesdays and Sundays. Those seem to be the prime time streams for me during the week. But I do want to do, like last year, I did hot takes, right? Where I had you all submit hot takes to me. I still might be doing that, but I want one stream during the week to be more of an interactive stream. Or not interactive, more of a, I can't find the word, where I want you all involved, right? So I might do like kind of like a Q&A, like hot takes stream, like one per week, just to kind of hang out with all of you and, just answer your questions and, just get you all involved in a stream. I don't know if it's really going to be like a hot takes dedicated stream like it was last year. But I might just, have you all submit some and I'll pick a few, I'll have you all even submit some questions and I can ask those questions during the streams as well. Where I can post those on the community tab and you all can submit them and I can pick a few, before I go live. And then once I go live, I can have super chats open. And if you wanted to, drop a super chat for like a question or a hot take, of course, that will be honored, especially if you're supporting the channel. But yeah, I would like to do one of those per week. So I might do that tomorrow night. I'm thinking moving forward, for me, I might do, the Wednesday, Sunday streams where Wednesday is like the halfway point through the week, like check in, kind of just see, what's going on so far during the week. And then Sunday is more of like the week recap. And then eventually I'll start doing power rankings. I'll probably start doing power rankings the first week of May. So look out for that. I'm not going to do it in the first few weeks of the season, but yeah, Wednesdays and Sundays are the big streams for me. But then Thursdays probably will be the other day where I do like a Q&A kind of a thing, just hang out for like an hour and a half or so. But yeah, also, again, like I said, make sure that you're looking out for, I'm really going to try this year, one day per week where I'm uploading like a historical, like documentary style video. So I'm almost done with this, the 2011 Phillies. I love looking back at old teams. I see like Stark Raving Sports. That's a great channel. They have a great group of people running that channel, and they're just putting out quality content every single week. And I really like that. They focus on, players and what else, whatever else. They're looking at a whole bunch of stuff that has happened in the past. I love what they do over there. And to me, I have always enjoyed looking back at old teams. And I did the 2017 Guardians last year, and that was a lot of fun to go look back and look at numbers and kind of look at how that season, how it unfolded for, I like doing that with old teams. And I wanted to look back on the 2011 Phillies, and that was, pretty cool to look at the numbers of that team and just look at how that season unfolded. So, there's other teams I have in mind as well, like the 2003 Cubs. Like, that's always a team like I will go and look back on, where they had just some fun players on that team, and obviously you had the Bartman thing. Even like the 1998 Braves, like that team was so good. That was one of the best offenses ever. Like that Braves team was so good. Like I would love to do a video on the 1998 Braves. Yeah, I see you A3RD. Do the 2011 Red Sox. Yeah, that would be a fun one. Of course. I'd love to do Red Sox teams. I would love to do the 2004 Red Sox. I think everyone, people look back on that, the team that, won the World Series, but that season itself was like a roller coaster, right? That was a fun season that year, right? I think a lot of people kind of forget that regular season with the Red Sox. A lot of the focus was on the playoffs with the Red Sox that year, but, looking back at the season itself was fun, right? You got the 2005 White Sox that ended up winning a World Series. Oakley Jones, I see you in the chat. The 2001 Mariners. Of course, a historic team. That's an obvious candidate for a video. Donalek, the 07-08 Mets. Yeah. King Zeldris, the 2003 Marlins. Of course. Even the 2005 Marlins. That team was a huge disappointment. That 2005 Marlins team, they had a lot of hype going into that year. I would love to look back at that team. I don't want to look back at just like successful teams. I want to look back at teams that kind of were disappointments as well, right? So the 05 Marlins, I would love to talk about that team. Or the 2012 Marlins. That was a fun one. Or that would be a fun one to do. So, yeah, the 98 Astros. Right, that was a fun team in the second half after they traded for Randy Johnson. That was a great team, right? They made the playoffs that year. Yeah, I would love that. Hirsch for real, the 84 Tigers. Yeah, that could be a real, go back in time kind of a video. That'd be a fun one. So, but what I would like to do, this is where like I really, if I were to, kind of think about it, where I would love for all of you to help me decide. And what I think I want to do this year is I really want to put, I love all of the members here on the channel. Anyone that's a member, thank you for your support. We got around 100 members on the channel. So I always appreciate you guys. Everyone that comes out and watches me, I appreciate you. But the, members that help support the channel, hey, I greatly appreciate your contributions, but I would really love for the members, to help me decide, right? Because you guys are supporting the channel. I would love for you guys to also help me decide, what videos to do, right? So where I can put up members only polls, right? And then you guys can help me pick, right? Because you guys are supporting the channel, by getting a membership. And I would love for you to help me with that. So look out for members only polls. If people do want to become a member, I have 3 tiers. There's a 99-cent tier that gets you badges and emojis for the chat. And then the next tier, I think, is $1.99, and that gets you access to a private Discord where you can talk baseball throughout the day. And then there's a $2.99 membership tier where that gets you the emojis, the Discord, and then that can also give you access to members only polls. That's what I have right now, and I think I'm going to start doing that. I might change some stuff around with the membership tiers, but I really do want members to start I want to give them more opportunities to help me decide, what videos I would like to do. Anyway, I'm rambling, but expect this video this week at some point, maybe Sunday morning. That would be the day where I would like to upload, videos. So that way you have something, for that morning, and then you have it for obviously that day and then for the rest of the time. So anyway, everyone, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to start winding things down over here. I got to wake up early for work, and I'm getting tired. But everyone, thank you for coming out. Again, if you are new, think about subscribing down below. Hit the like button for me. Share the stream if you can. Hit the bell notification. That way you know I go live every single time. But again, on your way out, please, if you can, hit that like button for me. I'll love you forever. I'm going to get out of here, everyone. Go have yourself a great rest of your night. Have a good day tomorrow, and I'll talk to you next time.